Many of our visitors complain that there is not enough entertainment in Bermuda. And how do we get it back? How can we find celebrity entertainment in Bermuda? How can we find island entertainment? There, of course, is also a limited pool of Bermudian entertainers, as distinct from musicians. To help facilitate the entertainment problems in Bermuda, we suggest the following. Work permit fees waiver for hotels, nightclubs, and concert promoters. Institutions offering entertainment should also get tax breaks. The current program for the entertainers at the arrivals hall at the airport and at the cruise ship terminal should be rethought. Some of these musicians would do better to be placed in the town squares at St. George's and up at the dockyard where people can better appreciate them and the government and the tourists get better value for money out of these musicians. It would also be artistically far more gratifying for them to appear in front of a decent audience. The Island Entertainment Initiative by show band Exotique, sponsored by the Department of Tourism, was a $1.5 million flop. If this was handled by a private business, the CEO of that business would surely have been fired for such a financial disaster. No governments have addressed the issue of gambling licenses in Bermuda. Significant competitive edge is being lost in comparison to other tourist destinations. Significant revenue is being lost. And we're losing the competitive edge to cruise ships that have all of these amenities. I suggest that Bermuda needs to incorporate gambling into the economy. Casino licenses, taxation, and possible funding for entertainment and other social needs would be part of what would come with that package. Transportation in tourism has also been of a major concern over the last 5 years. With the closure of the Marriott Hotel, and of course the closure of the bases, the East End businesses have been consistently underserved by the taxi industry. Late-night access to taxis, especially in the dockyard and St. George's, is a problem, and the scheduling and coordinating of taxis for high-volume periods and special events still seems to be troublesome. We do have some suggestions, and they are that tourist attractions and hotels of significant size could be allowed to run their own transportation services or have their own small minivans. Co-ops could be created between organizations in the interest of efficiency, and also seasonal limitations could be set, thereby protecting the taxis in the off-season. We recently received an email from one of Bermuda's regular visitors, and it states, "My wife and I have been visiting your beautiful island since 1965 when we spent our honeymoon there at the Sinesta, then called the Carlton Beach Hotel. We try to get back to your island every 2 to 3 years, and sometimes twice a year if we can find an exceptional deal on airfare and hotel packages. This brings me to my point. There are virtually no such deals or even very little mention of Bermuda in the newspapers and travel sections of the Sunday papers, where we would normally search out such information. I find this distressing. For the past 6 weeks, there has been approximately 4 mentions of Bermuda in the paper for vacation deals, and those have been for 1-week cruises. Absolutely no mention of airfare and hotel packages. We in New England look forward to these packages because Bermuda is an ideal vacation destination for us. We can leave at a reasonable time in the morning, be at your airport by noon, and on your beautiful beaches by 1 p.m. Who can ask for more? Maybe your tourism council has the answers. But I say they haven't found any yet." Bermuda has been fortunate in that the cruise industry in Bermuda has been healthy for the last 30 years. We have never really had a problem with the cruise industry coming into Bermuda. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for the cruise industry, many small businesses would be out of business, particularly in the water sports area. Also, let's not forget the amount of money that the cruise ship visitors do spend in our shops and also in our sightseeing attractions. There is no doubt that the hotel visitor spends a lot more money than the cruise ship passenger. They're here for longer, and they have more disposable income to spend. It is our belief now that we are reaching the 230,000 cruise ship arrival mark. That is about saturation point for Bermuda. So we really don't have to worry about the cruise ship industry coming into Bermuda. That is healthy.
Election promises? Get real or get ready for Armageddon. Another 5 years of arrogance and incompetence. Don't vote the party line. Line up and party at the beach. The UPP headquarters. The United Party People campaign twice as hard with 2 happy hours, 4 to 7 and midnight to 2 a.m., Sunday through Thursday. Ladies, we break the glass ceiling Thursday with $1 drinks 9 to 11. Yeah, baby. Closet drinkers, call Dine In and indulge in Chef Jerry's exquisite cuisine, all at shamefully low prices.
There's great news, folks. Bermuda.com and the Tourist Box is now officially partnered together. The Tourist Box is located in over 55 locations island-wide, and Bermuda.com is the #1 Bermuda website on the World Wide Web. What this means is more customers for you. And do you know that Bermuda.com has thousands of visitors per day? Our visitors are using the 55 Tourist Box locations so that they can find out about your business. Don't you miss out. Bermuda.com and the Tourist Box offers the most powerful advertising combination available to your business. So call 735-7069 or email Tony@Bermuda.com. Let us bring you the customers you've been waiting for.
On November the 9th, 1998, the Progressive Labour Party won the election. Tourism Minister David Allen declared that he would turn tourism around within 100 days. What he successfully managed to do was drive down air arrivals by almost 100,000 visitors within the first 3 years being in office. Premier Jennifer Smith's government stands to lose the next election on July 24th because of the poor management of tourism. The PLP record speaks for itself. The 100-day turnaround promise was a complete flop. Cruise and stay under David Allen was a complete flop. Pronouncements about when hotels would be built have never come to fruition, even until this day. There's been turmoil inside the Department of Tourism with the resignation of a very talented tourism director in the early days of David Allen. In a recent Royal Gazette editorial entitled Tourism Authority, it stated, "In an act that defied both logic and common sense, Tourism Minister Rene Webb tried on ABC's 2020 news magazine to defend the indefensible, Bermuda's use of a photo taken in Hawaii in its advertising campaign. The only good news is that the real Bermuda was seen by millions of people, some of whom may now think about coming to Bermuda instead of, well, Hawaii. But the odds are that most people will watch the show and wonder why Bermuda lied by using the images and why the government could not just admit it, made a mistake. Instead, there was the spectacle of Miss Webb looking foolish on Bermuda's behalf. This is not the only gaffe that has been made by government on tourism this week. As she has done on several occasions since the election was called, the Premier again declared that her government had turned tourism around. Not even Miss Webb claims that. She says that tourism faces challenges. The Premier defies not logic but the cold facts, and it is these kinds of gaffes that raise the biggest questions about the government's fitness to manage an industry whose recovery really is essential. The PLP tourism record, for the most part, is pretty grim. The 100-day turnaround promised by David Allen was a complete fantasy. Cruise and stay was a disaster. Daniel's Head opened late and closed almost immediately. Club Med is still closed. Skytop Cottages, Barnsdale Guest House, Laughlands, and Angel's Grotto have all lowered the number of hotel beds available in Bermuda by their closing. And to top things off recently, the use of that Hawaiian beach to promote Bermuda is just an outrage to any right-thinking Bermudian. It is time for a tourism authority. It is time for a change. It is time for new leadership in tourism.